Cheetahs are the fastest animal known to mankind, so why not make a roller coaster based on them? Well, Busch Gardens Tampa Bay did just that with the creation of Cheetah Hunt. This video is going to be my full review on the roller coaster and whether it lives up to the hype it receives. Let's get into it. Manufactured by Intamin, the coaster is a custom Intamin Blitz coaster that opened in 2011. This coaster type is the same as Maverick at Cedar Point. The trains were built to look like a cheetah. They feature the typical Blitz coaster restraints with a lap bar and comfort collar. This is different from Maverick in that the comfort collars are hard and are not able to come down to your shoulders. This will come into play later on in the layout of the coaster. The train seats 2 people per row and 4 people per car. The trains have 4 cars for a total of 16 riders per train, and there's a total of 5 trains. The ride features a dual load station, which means that 2 trains can load and unload at one time. This helps lessen the wait times the ride can receive as it reaches up to 3 hours. Cheetah Hunt is located near the front of the park in the Edge of Africa area. The queue is different from your regular queue. Instead of being on flat land, most of the queue switchbacks are on a slant. I thought that was rather interesting. The line does not have a lot of theming, but there is some here and there. The lights and pillars are decorated nicely, and there's a statue of a cheetah as you go through the line. The park did make a small pre-show for this ride too. It can be seen once you get to station level. It is pretty simple, giving a rundown of the ride and the safety precautions. The line directly next to the Cheetah Hunt queue is the Skyride line, which was not operating when I was at the park. At first, I was confused about what that side was for because it was not operating. Alright, getting into the layout. The ride begins with a small launch out of the station. It's nothing special, it's just to get the ride started. You then circle around the main pathway and dive into the second launch. This one is a lot longer and is where you hit your max speed of 60 miles per hour. After the launch, you fly up into the famous Cheetah Hunt figure 8 maneuver. This consists of 2 downward helixes in opposite directions. They are taken at low speed and give amazing views of the park. This is also the highest point of the ride, at 102 feet tall. On the entrance and exit of this element, you can get a good dose of ejector airtime depending on where you sit. Once done with this element, you dive into a trench where the photo camera is. There's a small section of straight track, then you go up into a twisted airtime hill. This is an airtime hill that you go into banked one direction and come out banked the other direction. Again, you fly into another trench, but this time it's under a path. Next comes the only inversion of the coaster, a heartline roll. That sends you into the mid-course brake run. Yes, that is only halfway through the layout. Remember how there is a dual load station? The second train is not able to launch out of the station until the first train gets past this point of the ride. For those that are unfamiliar with block sections, it is a part of the track that can only be occupied by one train. Before every block is a brake that will be used if the next zone is not clear. Even though there is a second launch in between the station and the mid-course brake run, there is no brake before the second launch. That means that the first block zone reaches from the station all the way to the mid-course. As a result, the wait for the second train is a decent length as it has to wait for the first train to pass the halfway point. Anyway, dropping off the mid-course brake run, you bank and turn right into another straight track. This is the only part of the coaster that seems out of place to me. They could have done something here as it is just straight. Maybe make the drop a little bigger and smooth the turn out a little, or maybe make a little airtime hill. Nonetheless, after the straight track, you bank right and turn right again. This starts my personal favorite part of the ride, as it is multiple bank turns back to back to back. This goes through a bunch of rocks that have been put here for theming. It is almost like weaving in and out of them. It's really cool. This great section comes at a cost. As I said earlier, the ride has hard comfort collars. Going through this, I found myself hitting my head multiple times against them. On the last bank, you enter a big right-hand turn that goes up into the third and final launch. This launch sends you back into another really good ejector airtime hill. You then swoop into another twisting airtime hill and bank down into another trench. Then one last little twisted airtime hill and you're flying into the final brake run. Going back to the dual load station, if you are the front car to dispatch, you may experience a longer wait on the final brake run waiting to get into the station. So quite the layout for this roller coaster. This coaster gets a lot of praise from the general public. That can be seen in the long wait times it receives. But does it live up to the hype? Cheetah Hunt is in no way like Maverick at Cedar Point. I found it to be the exact opposite actually. I think this coaster is a great family coaster, while Maverick is a great thrill coaster. There's nothing too crazy about it. When I first rode this, I was expecting a #1 attraction for this park. That did leave me a little underwhelmed. And for those who would like to know where I rank this among the other coasters, it is in my top 3 for the park. I want to wait to ride Iron Gwazi before I set these rankings in stone though. This is a great roller coaster. I just think that I was expecting something this coaster was not. So don't go in thinking it's going to be like Maverick, super intense and super crazy, and you're going to love this coaster. It's not a compact rush, but more like a spread out graceful journey. This coaster is just plain fun. So to sum up this review with a pro and con list for Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, I did not like how the restraints have hard comfort collars compared to the softer ones. I wish the coaster was a bit more intense too. On the other hand, I like the intensity because it was enjoyable for everyone and still delivers a fun experience. The length of the ride is definitely a plus, and the concept fits perfectly in this African themed park. So for my final score, I give this coaster a 9 out of 10. I think it was the restraints that did it for me. I could not get over how uncomfortable the comfort collar was and how I banged my head on it multiple times. Other than that, this was an amazing roller coaster that fits in perfectly at Busch Gardens. Thank you so much for watching this review of Busch Gardens Tampa's longest thrill ride, Cheetah Hunt. Let me know what you guys think of this coaster in the comments below. If you liked it, please leave a like and consider subscribing, as I plan on making more review videos like this in the future. Until then, peace out.